and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I decided to do a keto Q&A because I get so many questions on my keto diet daily, so I thought I would do a dedicated Q&A for those that are curious about this diet, how long I've been doing it, what's so good about it, what it is. I'm just going to answer absolutely everything that I can in this video for you guys. So I asked you guys to ask me some questions via Instagram. I do actually have two Instagram accounts, obviously Makeup by Jazz, which is my main account, and then I actually made a fitness account not long ago where I post all of my keto recipes, and then sometimes when I'm at a cafe I will adjust certain like dishes and turn that into keto, and I just like to share that with you guys, especially if you live here on the Gold Coast, because it is quite hard to find keto friendly cafes or even just cafes in general that you can adjust their menu to make keto appropriate. So that one is Jazz Goes Fitspo. I'll leave it here anyways and in the description box if you want to give me a follow on that. But I asked you guys on both accounts, and I actually got heaps of questions on my other account as well. So I'll just go through and answer the most popular questions. So yeah, let's just go into my phone. I've got my laptop out here too in case anyone asks me anything technical, because I'm not like I do understand the diet, but when it comes to like technical stuff, I'm not the most confident with answering questions that are more technical, if you know what I mean. Okay, so let's go to all the questions. What is keto? So it did take me quite a while to actually get my head around what keto was and the point of doing it. Because obviously when I first heard about it, everyone was like, yep, so you don't have carbs, you have fat instead. And I was like, yuck. Like, I typically don't really eat fatty foods often. Like before I started keto, I always stay away from like high saturated fats, fatty foods, because I was obviously more into like a cleaner, healthier diet. So I would eat like meat and veggies pretty much like all the time. So when I actually first discovered this, my mum's boyfriend actually introduced me to it, and I hadn't really heard much about it until he mentioned it to me. So he was fasting for a week. I know that's so strange, but he wanted to do it properly and get into proper ketosis before he started. To start keto, it's recommended to fast 1 to 2 days before you're actually starting the diet to get your body into ketosis. Now, for those of you that don't know what ketosis is, basically, I'm just going to look it up because I don't want to say anything wrong. So basically what the keto diet is in the most simplest form is you're replacing all your carbs that you use for energy with fat. No sugar. So basically this is like a protein and fat diet with no sugar and very minimal carbs. And by minimal I mean under 20 grams a day. So if you do go under that 20 grams a day, that is when your body will be in ketosis, which means you'll be fat burning. Obviously the less carbs you eat in a day, the more your body will be in ketosis, which means you're burning fat more. So for example, I actually have keto strips, which I'll get for you in a second. And basically I just got them from Priceline, and they're just called ketone strips. You pee on them. I know it's a bit gross, but it tells you your ketone levels. So how I read it was the darker your strip is, the more in ketosis you are, which means the more fat you're burning. I've got Google up. Ketosis is a metabolic state in which some of the body's energy supply comes from ketone bodies in the blood, in contrast to a state of glycolysis, in which blood glucose provides energy. Generally, ketosis occurs when the body is metabolizing fat in a high rate and converting fatty acids into ketones. So technically, that is what ketosis means. I'm going to go define keto diet for those that are wanting a more technical explanation. I'm probably the least technical person that you'll ever meet, and I like to read things in the most simplest way possible. Okay, this one seems simple. The ketogenic diet is a high-fat, adequate protein and low-carb diet to burn fats rather than carbohydrates. So as I said before, your body now, those that aren't on the keto diet, uses carbs to generate energy, whereas those that are on the keto diet don't have any carbs to rely on energy, so that is replaced with fats. Now, When I first heard about this, I was like, that is disgusting. Like, how the hell am I supposed to eat like 120 grams of fat a day? When I first heard about how much fat you had to intake for this diet, I was like, okay, I'm going to vomit. That's disgusting. But it actually is quite easy to incorporate fats that don't really taste fatty, if that makes any sense, into the diet. I'm just going to give you guys an example of what kind of foods you can and you can't eat just before I start jumping into any questions. So what you can eat: natural fat, so butter, oil, cream, fish and seafood, very good, high in omega-3 and fats, I'm pretty sure. I don't like seafood, so skip that. Cheese, cauliflower. So to make it simpler for me, I just stay away from coloured veggies and just stick to green. So the veggies you can eat is cauliflower, zucchini, cucumber, broccoli. You can have capsicum, Brussels sprouts, tomato, only a little bit of it because it does contain quite a bit of carbs in high doses. Eggplant, asparagus, avocado is like one of my favorite foods that I can eat a lot of on this diet. Lettuce, and eggs and meat are your sources of protein. So everything else you have to stay away from. Sugar, very, very hard at the start, but obviously there's sweeteners and stuff out there, but you do have to be careful when you are eating stuff that say no sugar, but some sweeteners can actually knock you out of ketosis. I'm pretty sure it's called maltitol and something else. I'll leave them on the screen though. Even though I do have a few Pepsi Maxes a week and it doesn't seem to knock me out of ketosis, but I know if I didn't drink it, I probably would be at a more higher fat burning rate than I am now, but I'm kind of not in the strictest keto I've been in just because my boyfriend's here from Perth, and yeah, we like to eat out and stuff like that. So yeah, you just need to be careful of a couple of sweeteners that are in no sugar products. So no soda or juice that has full sugar, no fruit. That was a big one for me. The only fruit you can have is strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Anything berry you can have, but once again in very small amounts. So when I have strawberries, I have like 3 or 4. That's probably like 2 grams of carbs, which is a lot when you're only having 20 grams a day, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, fruit, no go. Potatoes, nope. No pasta, no rice, no bread, no donuts, no M&Ms, no chocolate, nothing. I've been on this for about 2 months. I did have a week off during Splendor, and not gonna lie, my body did feel like shit. I didn't get sick though. I did get a few stomach aches. When I had a bowl of pasta, they did have a gluten-free option at the restaurant, and I think that did help. Otherwise, if I just had like just plain pasta, not gluten-free, I think I would have felt way more sicker than I did. But yeah, when I was in Sydney in Splendor, I just kind of let keto go for a bit, lived life a bit, just because I didn't want to be so strict while being on a little holiday. But yeah, those are the foods to eat and to stay away from. So I'm going to go ahead with the questions. I feel like I was just talking for so long just then. Can you share some recipes? I definitely will make a video of what I typically eat in a day, definitely. And I think a video that would be really useful is what to eat when you're out. I've literally accumulated so many restaurants, cafes, and fast food places here on the Gold Coast. Like, that is literally my mission, to find keto-friendly meals in just your everyday like takeaway and restaurants and stuff like that, which I guess most people struggle with. So I probably have like at least 10 cafes and restaurants in my notes that I can go and eat a keto-friendly meal at. So if you want to see a video on that, then let me know, because I'll definitely be happy enough to film that. How many grams of carbs per day? So I'm going to go on my app, which I use. It is called Carb Manager. It's really, really good at tracking your macros. It's really easy to add meals and foods in. So I am now 70 kilos. I'll just say that on average. I like fluctuate from like 69 to 70. So 70 kilos, and I'm about 166 centimeters. So I'm pretty much like average height. I'm not short, I'm not tall. Like, I'm just average. So I have 20 grams of carbs and under a day, 129 grams of fat, which is a lot, protein, 104 grams of protein, and then I'm on 1500 calories. I know most people say don't really count the calories, but I like to stay within 1500. And of course, I do F45 3 to 4 times a week now, so yeah, that does definitely help in the weight loss of this all. I could safely say that this is not just a weight loss lifestyle change. Like, I mentally feel so much like I've got so much more motivation to like get up and film and do stuff for the day. I don't feel lazy. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel hungry throughout the day. I have 2 massive meals and then maybe like 1 snack after dinner or before dinner, just depending on how I'm feeling. Do you do intermittent fasting along with your keto? So for the first month I didn't, just because I was just getting used to everything that I could eat, because I still was like having to look up everything individually. Like if I was out or when I was shopping, like I had to look up everything that I could and couldn't eat. It does take a lot to get used to, just because you're not used to eating that sort of stuff, and obviously you don't know straight away like what you shouldn't and should be eating. So the first month was just me experimenting with like different recipes, what's easy for me, and trying to get into my macros and sort of get my head around that. I was new to the whole like counting macros thing, so I've never done it before, so I did have to research a lot into that and really get my head around that. So after about a month, then I started to incorporate intermittent fasting. So for those that don't know, intermittent fasting or intermittent calorie restriction is an umbrella term for various diets that cycle between a period of fasting and non-fasting during a defined period of time. So for those that don't know what fasting is, it just means you don't eat for that period of time. So most people I follow online do the 16 and 8 fasting thing, which means 16 hours non-eating, 8 hours eating. So if my last meal is at 8 p.m. at night, my first meal the next day won't be at 12 p.m. So that's a 16-hour fast, and then I'll eat from 12 till 8. I try to do that every day. Fasting apparently is just really good in general. I've just heard really good things about intermittent fasting, and you don't necessarily need to be on keto to do intermittent fasting. Did you get the keto flu? Thank God I didn't the first time I started keto, but then as I said, when I got off keto during Splendor in Sydney and I got back on it, I did get sick. That must have been the keto flu, but I just got a little bit of a cough and runny nose. I didn't really get like sick in the stomach or anything like that, so I don't know if that could be anything to do with getting back into keto. But yeah, I did. It wasn't that nice. I had it for like 4 days, but yeah, I didn't get it the first time for some reason. That, like, I don't know, it was so weird. But yeah, the second time I got back into it, I got a flu, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. Do you have cheat meals that include carbs? Nope. So the downside, unfortunately, on the keto diet is you can't have any cheat meals. Just because if you decide, you know what, I'm gonna have a massive pizza tonight, that's probably like 50 grams of carbs, which is definitely over your limit for the day, you'll just be knocked straight out of ketosis, and it takes about 3 to 4 days to get back on it to start fat burning again, which is just not worth it. I find that being on this diet, I don't feel the need to binge or, you know, feel like I need to have heaps of carbs or heaps of chocolate, because the food that you eat is so substantial. It doesn't make me have as much cravings as you think. Obviously, like, I would love to have a bowl of pasta tonight for dinner, like, obviously, but there is some sacrifices you have to make to get to where you want to be. I don't plan on doing this forever, but I will try and do it for as long as I can until I'm happy and healthy. Maybe I will do it forever, I don't know, but there are definitely some foods that I do miss that I could potentially just eat in moderation if I wasn't to do this diet, obviously. It just makes it so hard when you're not at home. That's just the one thing that gets me with this diet. Like, going out to like nice restaurants, like if you want to go to a nice Italian restaurant, you can't just order a pasta. You can't have Japanese. I cannot have Japanese. I love my chicken katsu, like chicken, rice and sushi. Like, that's just one thing I miss so much. Like, I haven't had it for 2 months. I just miss going to restaurants and just like having cheat meals. But again, like, it will be worth it in the long run. I'm happy with how my body is feeling and looking at the moment. I just have so much more mental clarity and so much more motivation than I did before. So I definitely will continue to do this for as long as I can, other than not having Japanese. or carbs, but I don't know, I just don't really miss carbs. Like, I thought I would be dying, but I'm not, because I just made like the most amazing keto bread ever, and it doesn't even taste like it's healthy. Like, it doesn't taste like it's only 2 grams of carbs per serve, like as opposed to normal bread, which is like 50 grams for 2 slices. But yeah, there's so many like alternatives out there these days that you can make to make food feel like it's not keto. How much do you think keto has helped you? Have you lost weight, and if so, how much? So I've lost on keto, I think 3.5 kilos now. So yeah, I was like 73.5 when I first started. Been on it for 2 months. Last couple of weeks I haven't really been as strict as I should be or could be. So these past 2 months I've lost like 3.5 kilos. In my first week I lost like, I think it was 2.5, but apparently that's all like just like water weight. But still, jumping on those scales and seeing that I'd lost 2 kilos in that first week definitely gave me motivation to keep going. So yeah, definitely has helped me. How often do you slip up? Never. The only time I've slipped up is when I decided not to continue with keto when I was in Splendor and in Sydney. Just because, you know, I wanted to enjoy myself. I wanted to drink alcohol. I wanted to eat pizza. I wanted to eat pasta, like, while I was away. Like, I don't know, I just wanted to treat myself. So yeah, other than that, I haven't slipped up, because you can't if you want to do it properly. And I'm the type of person that if I want to do something, I'll do it properly. So if I want to do a diet for 6 weeks, I will stick to it for 6 weeks. Just like the 8-week challenge at F45. I stuck to that for 6 weeks, or was it 8 weeks? 8-week challenge. I don't know, I'm just determined like that, and I just don't like taking shortcuts when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm pretty determined and motivated when it comes to what to eat and what not to eat. So I guess that's a good trait I have in myself. Has being on keto given you more energy? Yes, so much more energy. I used to sleep in, like when I didn't have anything planned for the day, I would sleep until like 11, 12 and be like, ugh. You know, when you like sleep in and you oversleep, you just cannot be bothered to do anything. You're like, oh, just wasted half a day, may as well just like lounge around and do nothing. I literally was like that for ages, like had no energy when I woke up, but now I'm up earlier, probably like 8, 9, and I just want to get shit done. Like, I'll get up, film another video, I'll just, you know, run errands, go to the PO box. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel like I have so much energy. Even at F45, like sometimes before I like went to F45 sessions, when I wasn't on keto, I'd just be like, oh, FML, like cannot be bothered, don't have energy. I would skip so many sessions just because I literally had no energy from the amount of carbs and sugar that I was eating. But yeah, it's definitely like given me way more energy, and I just feel so much better. And one of the other things that I experienced before keto was bloating. Oh my god, I literally got bloated every day. Haven't been bloated once since being on keto. Literally not once have I experienced bloating, and I could not be happy, because there is nothing worse and I hate than bloating. Like, I used to be scared, like if I was out and eat something and then like be scared that I'd be bloating because I'd be wearing something tight or something, and I'd be so self-conscious. So yeah, absolutely no bloating, thank the Lord. What is your favorite meal? So usually when I get up around 9, I'll have a bulletproof coffee. For those that don't know what a bulletproof coffee is, it's just a regular coffee like you would, instant coffee, water, but you mix butter, MCT oil, which is just like a form of coconut oil, and if you want, thickened cream. So this is like the fattiest coffee you'll ever drink in your life. It doesn't taste fatty though, like you can taste a little bit of the butter. Sometimes I only just like to add MCT oil. I will add everything that I mentioned in the description box down below if you want to like research everything and where I get it. So basically MCT oil is like a form of coconut oil, but it's better. So yeah, I usually just make like an almond milk coffee. I don't really like to make the standard bulletproof coffee with just water. I like almond milk, and you can have almond milk. The almond milk that I have only has 0.8 grams of carbs and I think 0.2 or 3 grams of sugar per serving. So I just have that with some Moccona coffee, and then I put my MCT oil in, and then sometimes thickened cream and butter. Just depends on if I'm planning on having like more fat throughout the day. If not, I'll like put all my fat in the coffee because you can't really taste it, to get my fats up for the day. And then around 12:1 I'll have my bacon and eggs and avocado, and sometimes I'll have like one slice of my keto bread that I make that I'll also list down below. So I'll have 2 fried eggs baked in coconut water or fried in coconut oil, 2 slices of bacon, half an avocado, and then sometimes I put some feta over the egg, and then just 1 slice of the bread, and that comes around to 7 to 8 grams of carbs. So then my remaining carbs in that day is like 12 grams. So I'll save like 10 or so for dinner. I like to have a massive dinner, and then I just save those other 2 grams of carbs for like snacks and stuff like that. I actually made some keto cookies the other day and they're so good. Then throughout the day I actually just made fat bombs. So what I did was I got some light jelly, made that in a mold, and then waited for that to set, and then I put a layer of coconut oil and then a layer of the 90% Lindt chocolate, which you can eat on this diet because I think per serving there's only about 2 grams of carbs and then like 1 gram of sugar for 2 squares. If you're not a dark chocolate person, you'll probably hate it. Like my boyfriend absolutely hates it. He can't even stand 70% dark chocolate, but I love dark chocolate, so the 90% I can definitely eat. So that goes on top, and that is a fat bomb with jelly, coconut oil, and chocolate, and that kind of just like keeps your sugar cravings away and just keeps you full until your next meal. So then for dinner, my favorite meals, I guess, burrito bowls. I have a lot of them just because they're super easy to make. Meat, cheese, avocado, sour cream, tomatoes, all in a bowl. What else do I like eating for dinner? Chicken thigh and cauliflower rice with, what sauce? Mayonnaise sometimes I put on. I made some really nice enchiladas on my fitness page. But yeah, just go through my fitness page on Instagram. I have so many recipes that I made up and that I took from the internet as well. And I post on there like pretty much daily. So check it out if you are wanting some meal ideas. Fave keto snacks. I made some nice keto cookies that you can just find recipes for online. They're super basic. I'm obsessed with Jelly Light. I need to like freaking chill out on that. Like, it has 7 calories per serve, no carbs, no sugar. I could literally eat like 2 packets in one sitting, like a whole massive bowl of it. It's so good. I usually have that with like a bit of 90% Lindt chocolate. And then I have some strawberries in with it as well. That's for like a dessert. Celery sticks and almond butter. You need to make sure to get like the all natural almond butter, not just the almond butter that you just get from Coles. So you need to have a look at the back, and have a look at the nutritional information, and just make sure it's like within your, you know, total carb limit for the day. I did make a keto bread, so I like to have that sometimes. With some butter on top. I did make some keto brownies from a brownie mix that I bought from Low Carb Emporium, which is just like an online keto shop. I'm trying to think of like healthy snacks. Oh yeah, you can just have like whole meats and cheese and stuff like that. Like I like snack on salami sticks. You need to make sure you look at the back on the nutritional information of salami sticks as well, because there are some out there in Coles that do have really high carb and sugar. And I just buy like the cheese sticks just from Coles. What else do I have as snacks? I don't really tend to snack just because I have 2 massive meals a day and they seem to keep me full. But if I was hungry and a bit peckish, then I'll have them. I do have some snacks from, again, Low Carb Emporium that I got, like chocolate coated almonds. What else do I have in the pantry that I sometimes snack on? Oh, there's this chocolate that I really like. I think it's Well Naturally. That's the brand. It's from Woolworths. It has really good like macros. I think for 1 whole bar it's like 2 grams of carbs, and that's like 1 massive bar like that, and it's so good. It's like dark chocolate and mint. I'll leave a picture here for you guys, but they're so good. Where do I get my recipes from? Are there any go-to sites that you use? I'm literally joined to heaps of groups on Facebook, and they always seem to be putting out like amazing recipes. And I also just follow a bunch of keto pages. Like, one of the main reasons why I decided to make a keto page was just to like follow keto people. But yeah, I got heaps of recipes and inspiration from Instagram pages and Facebook groups. And sometimes like I do Google like chicken keto recipes and so many come up. Like, there's always going to be some recipe somewhere that's keto. So yeah, just Google it. There's so many out there. What type of exercise do you do while you're on keto? I still do F45 3 to 4 times a week at F45 Rabina. I love it there. I just love the people there. I love the exercises. I love that you're in and out in 45 minutes and you've probably burnt like 500 calories. Love it. Love F45. What is your absolute favorite keto dessert? Well, I've recently been having brownies for dessert every day. I know that's probably really, really, really bad. I think they're about 5 grams of carbs each brownie. But I have that with thickened cream and jelly. So good. I'll leave the brownie mixture down below. But yeah, so like it does not taste healthy. Like, that is just what like blows my mind. Like, this brownie mix literally just tastes like a proper full fat, full sugar brownie. But it's not. It's so good. Do you have Fizzy with Coke, zero or no sugar, etc.? I think she means do you have fizzy drinks. So yeah, I do. I'm trying to limit that to a couple times a week. So I usually just have Pepsi Max. It's like my go-to if I'm out, or if I'm at home I do have some in the fridge. I did used to have them every day. I know it is bad because it does contain some sweeteners that can knock you out of ketosis, as I mentioned before. But I did read forums of this guy that lost like 50 kilos and he said he had a Pepsi Max every day. So I guess if it's helping you, then why not? If you're seeing results, why not? But those that want to be really strict keto, they recommend absolutely like no like diet soft drinks or anything like that. No jelly light, no nothing with like sweeteners and stuff. Last question was, did you find the transition to keto hard? Yes, just because I didn't really have that much knowledge on what I could and couldn't eat. As I said before, it did take me quite a few weeks to actually really understand what I could and couldn't eat. So yeah, the transition was quite hard. I didn't know what to make, so I made like the most basic stuff, like literally bacon, eggs, avo every day. And then for dinner I would literally have like a Caesar salad. Yeah, like that's literally what I would have all the time until I like experimented, researched, looked online, followed other people, and you know, like try to make other recipes that I could make. I'm not the best cook. I'm a very basic cook. The simpler the better, the easier the better, the less time the better. That is all about my cooking life. Like, I don't want to be spending like hours preparing a meal because I'll just demolish it in 5 minutes. Like, I don't see the point in that. So the quicker, easier and most affordable way to make food, I'll be there. I'll do it. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video informative. Sorry it took me so long to get around to actually filming it because heaps of you guys have requested a video like this for ages. But I would be more than happy to, like, you know, sit down once every couple of weeks and answer some questions just to let you guys know how I'm going in my journey. But yeah, if you want to stay updated with my fitness journey, feel free to follow Jazz Goes Fitspo, which I'll leave here. I do weekly weigh-ins every week just to see how I'm going. That week that I didn't do keto during Splendor and Sydney, I only gained 800 grams and I was so shocked. Although I didn't go like completely psycho on the carbs and the sugar, like I didn't, like, yeah, as I said, I didn't go like nuts on it. Like, I still try to keep very, very healthy and clean. But you know, I did have chocolate, I did have pizza, I did have pasta, like I did have carbs, but I just thought I'd gain heaps more than that, but it didn't. And then the first week I've been back on keto, I lost, was it 600 or 400? 4 or 600, I can't remember, but have a look on my highlights on my Instagram page because I've got all the information there. But as soon as I got back on it, I was back to losing weight again and burning fat. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.